Hi, my name's Neil. I'm a 46-year-old skateboarder. I'm in London, UK. And if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that me and some friends have been going on some occasional skate trips over to France. Today's video is another one of those trips. So yeah, it wasn't that long ago actually that I posted up a video of our previous trip to France. We seem to be able to get a few in a year, and this summer I think we did 2 or 3. It's a lot of fun to go there. Every time we go, we try and go to some parks we haven't been to before, but on the way we always stop off at Calais skate park, which is literally right by the ferry port. So we either take the ferry or the Eurotunnel over, and Calais is the first stop. So today's video is no different. We stopped off at Calais first, and as usual there's a bit of sand in that bowl because it's right by the beach. So we had to set about sweeping up, and we do that pretty much every park we go to. There's always some kind of something in the bowl that we arrive at, so we set about sweeping up. It didn't take us too long, luckily. It wasn't wet this time. Last time we went there was some water in the bowl as well, and that obviously added with the sand made it a bit more difficult to clean out, but we did okay this time. Swept up, got a bit of skating in, which was great. Now when we go on these trips, I don't tend to film too much footage. It just never feels like the moment to get the camera out, and then I'm either enjoying myself too much and I forget, or things happen or I just don't feel like getting it out. And there's even a problem with doing that in this park in Calais. The bowl is so big that it never really feels like there's a good place to plant the camera to get much of a shot of what I'm doing, because by the time you get across to the other side, it's way too far away from the camera. Usually I'm using an action camera and it's got a really wide lens, and so the further away you get from it, the less you see. So apart from sort of planting it in a few good spots, it never really feels right at this park. Luckily though, Nathan and Andy that I go with both are keen photographers, and so there's more stills photos than there is video, because those guys got their cameras out at various points and were taking a lot of pictures of me, which was good for me and meant that I got some good pictures and footage. Now, one thing that seems to be becoming a trend now is that they will try and hype me up to try and do a grind on something as high as possible. And so this time around, Nathan got me to do a backside grind on the vert end of the kind of pool coping area of the Calais bowl, which I've done a few times before but never captured on camera, I don't think. Maybe Nathan did the first time I went, but yeah, it was good to get some shots, and he was telling me, instructing me exactly where to go, because he wanted to get this certain shot of the sun sort of casting across and putting my shadow onto the surface of the bowl while I was doing the grind, and it came out really well, came out how he wanted it to look. So let's have a quick look at that photo. So yeah, that was a pretty cool photo. Big thanks to Nathan for taking that. And I'll just show you through the footage and photos or whatever we got at Calais, and then we'll talk about the next park. Right, that was pretty cool. So next up, we went to another bowl that Nathan had spotted. He tends to get on, I think, Google Earth and start searching around for pools and bowls from above, you know, just like the kind of plane spotting that people do in California looking for empty pools. And he's got really good at that. And he found this one and said, let's go and check it out. So we arrived at this place and it looks like a kind of public park, just kind of green space sort of park. And we couldn't quite see where the skate park was when we first arrived. And so we sort of walked a little bit around and spotted where the skate park was. We got there and got up to the gates, and the gates were chained up, locked. So the skate park was closed and locked. And it was a really nice day. We traveled, I think we'd driven quite a long way to get there, this particular bowl. And so we all started hopping over the fence because that's what skateboarders do. And we went to check it out. This bowl was insane. It is so big. I think it was probably about 12.5 foot deep. I think it had about 2 foot of vert, maybe 2.5 foot, because it had like an extension around the top of it. So it was enormous. And when we stood in the bottom, you know, you look up a long way. It was like what I've experienced as being a big vert ramp, but it was a bowl. The shallow end was kind of, I don't know, about 5.5 foot, but it went down into a deep waterfall, and then you had the expanse of the vert. It looked like really fresh. I think it had just been painted. We looked in the bottom and the drain looked blocked, so there was a huge puddle in there. So we got down there and I sort of unblocked the drain and let the water drain out. We swept up the leaves and the mush that was kind of there from previous rainfall. And while we were doing that, some guy showed up, and initially he seemed not very happy, perhaps because we'd hopped the vents and we don't speak French, and he sort of was articulating to not touch the right side. There was some pool coping that it looked like they'd just redone the blocks, like filled the cement in between. And he was kind of gesturing to not touch that. And we were like, yeah, cool. And then he seemed quite happy that we were there. So he just kind of let us get on with it. And he stuck around, and later actually some more of his colleagues showed up as well. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it was huge, very deep. The coping was kind of like a concrete block coping rather than like smooth cement. It didn't look like anybody had ever done a grind on any of it. It looked really clean, but it was that slightly rough kind of concrete rather than cement. And they looked like they'd just redone some cement between those blocks. So maybe a bit had fallen out. And it looked like maybe they just repainted it, and the paint was kind of glossy. So when we sort of first had a little roll around, it seemed like it was a little bit slippery because the paint was kind of glossy, which was a little bit of a worry. But once I started going around it, I felt like actually my wheels were kind of gripping it all right. There was potential for slip outs, and actually one drop in I did slip out a little bit, but got into a knee slide. What happened there? Of course, everybody egging me on to try and get a slash grind in it. So that's what I did. And it took a little while, lots of kind of pumping. And I basically got to the conclusion that I just had to drop in and go straight at the wall to get up it high enough to get a backside grind. And I did, which I was completely surprised by. I didn't think I was getting anywhere near it. And they were all telling me I was getting very close. So I kept on trying, and I eventually did get one. So yeah, let's check out that footage first. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That bowl was what I would describe as pretty gnarly. It was very high, very steep, lots of vert. But yeah, while we were skating, as I say, that guy turned up and he seemed like he was okay with us skating. Another two guys showed up and they started filming us skating. And I don't know quite why that was, whether they were just impressed that people were actually skating it, or maybe they were kind of filming it to show their colleagues that the repair was successful and that people wanted to skate it. I don't quite know, but they seemed really keen to film us, so that was cool. And so we had a good skate there for maybe about an hour in total, and we thought, okay, we'll move on to the next park after that. And they were kind of hanging around still, and it looked like they were actually locking up after we'd left. So again, maybe the park wasn't supposed to be skated, but they didn't mind us having a go. There were some other bits, some sort of street bits off to one side that were just totally out of context of the size of this bowl. So this enormous, great big bowl, and then some strange little quarter pipes and flat bars and things that seemed very tame and small, kind of scooter park style compared to the size of this bowl. So don't know quite how the design happened. And that's kind of cool about these parks we go to in France. The designs are usually pretty weird or quirky or just different than what we see in the UK. So I don't know, but it was cool, kind of quirky, kind of fun. So yeah, that was great. And then we went to one final park, which was some kind of youth club. We arrived and we walked up through the gates. It looked like some kind of school. And as we were walking through the gates, I kind of said to everybody, are we supposed to be here? You know, this looks like a school or something. And there was kids in the bowl already riding around on scooters. And it seemed like if a bunch of 40-somethings kind of rolled up to a kids' youth club and just started skating the bowl, maybe that was a bit weird. But I hadn't been to this bowl before. The others had on a previous trip, and they said, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. I was like, okay, fine. You know, we'll go, you know. And so we just arrived, put our pads on and just started skating the bowl. The kids didn't seem to be that bothered by that. Maybe we scared them away a little bit because they started to sort of ride around some of the other area, but they did kind of join back in at various points. So that was fine. But yeah, it was a really nice laid out bowl, and there was kind of a hump in the middle for getting a bit of speed. It was all about, I don't know, about 4 foot high, so it wasn't at all scary. The only weird thing about it was that the walls were a little bit kinked in various places, but it wasn't terrible, and we sort of got used to that as you kind of go around. It's a nice shape, a kind of quirky, different shape, so there were so many options for things to do because you could just go in all kinds of directions and build different lines, which was nice and a lot of fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed that place. I think we all did. That was kind of a middle ground for everybody, and we all enjoyed it. There was one kind of small vert wall that had pool coping around the top. I did some front side and backside slash grinds on that and got some more good photos. Thanks to Andy and Sue for getting some good photos of that. And let's check out that. So there you go, another successful and fun trip to France. I don't know the addresses and names of the places where these bowls were, apart from the one in Calais, because luckily for us, Nathan organises everything, and He does all the research, finds the places. We just get in the car, he drives, and we get out and skate, get back in and go somewhere else. So sorry, I don't really pay attention to exactly where any of these places are. I just turn up and skate them, which I really like because I don't have to do anything except skate. So it was great. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been to any of these places, or if you know some places in northern France that are worth us checking out on another trip. Let us know. I think the next one we might be moving more over into Belgium, because there's apparently some stuff there as well. So maybe the next one will be Belgium rather than France, or a bit of both. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. It really helps to spread my videos amongst like-minded people like yourself. If you've made it this far, please just do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and you like this video, or you like any of my videos, please consider subscribing. YouTube is a weird thing, but 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, which is strange. That seems to be a pretty consistent metric for some reason. So subscribe if you want to see more, and you'll get notifications if you hit the bell whenever I upload the next videos. If you're interested, I've got a merch store. Click the button below and check out some of the t-shirts that I'm selling. You can buy those all over the world. There are local places that are signed up to be printing them, so don't think that it's UK only. If you're overseas, you can order as well. It's a worldwide store, and that helps me, supports the channel and helps me pay for doing all of this. So the money comes straight in, and I put it straight back into doing this sort of thing, and pays for the equipment and such. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking this out. I will see you again soon. Take care.